So I talk a lot about self-trust, but I can't move forward any longer without telling you how to rebuild self-trust. You stop trusting yourself. It happens, right? But let me tell you right now, one thing you need to stop attempting to do is become more confident. So just stop. Take that burden off your shoulder. Focus on becoming more consistent because more self-trust isn't something you're just going to be able to think up in your mind. It's something that you're going to have to earn. And that's okay. Like I've said before, one of the biggest mistakes, and I see it all the time, is trying to make one big decision and make this grand claim. You know what? It's going to be different. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to finally do the thing, and that's when everything's going to change. I hear that a lot. You can make lofty goals, huge goals, not even realistic, big promises. And for maybe that hour or days or weeks, if you get that far, you're all in. That's the easy part. You know, life is good. But then the follow through stops. You miss a day, 2 days, a week. And then guess what? We heard that pattern. You right back where you were before, right back in the same spot. But the reality is, it's not because you're not like a capable person. But guess what happened? Tried to rebuild too quickly. I mean, building's fine, but if you do it too fast, it can work in the opposite direction. So I want you to think about any significant relationship you have. If somebody breaks down trust with you over and over, how many times is that person gonna have to apologize to you to fix it? Way more than one time, right? So words sometimes don't even mean anything. So going back to actions and consistency, the relationship we have with ourselves, that's the exact same way. If you think about it like that, we don't build trust with ourselves just by thoughts that we have. We can think all day, but we built that trust through becoming predictable to ourselves and bringing those thoughts out into the environment and executing on those thoughts consistently. Because that's why I feel like people need to stop just making life-changing promises to themselves. Like, we got to stop that. And you, maybe internally, that's okay. You can dream and hope. But if we begin making small promises that are literally impossible to break, literally impossible, so small, it literally seems like a joke. Literally, you're like, okay, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to go outside and get the mail consistently. I'm going to read a half a page of a book. I'm going to set my timer to actually leave my house 10 minutes or 2 minutes earlier than I'm supposed to. That's like microscopic small. But that's the whole point. Because every promise that is kept is evidence. Evidence that what you're saying actually means something and that you're actually capable of doing the thing. And the compounding effects of that is real. And many people, including myself, at some points didn't think small things really even matter, like the small stuff, the details, but they do. You know, because every small thing answers a question that your brain or your body is asking you the whole time without you even knowing. Can I count on myself? Am I actually going to be able to do this? And let me tell you something, when most of these answers become like yes, a lot can change. The indecision, the overthinking, the lack of certainty, the story changes. And you become sure of yourself. And that's when it gets dangerous in a good way. So none of this is like perfection or chasing perfection, but you kind of see where I'm going with this. You become more reliable. And that right there is priceless. And when we talk about closing the gap. So I want you to stop trying to look at one big moment, the aha. Like, I want you to stop that right now if you think that way and live inside of those regular moments that happen to where you follow through on something that you actually said you're going to do. And nobody's got to be watching you. Most of this is boring and happens in quiet. You know, growth happens here. And, you know, with a small promise or a decision that you keep with yourself, that's how the tides turn. And in time, I promise you, the regular decisions that you make, that's how you start closing that gap between who you are today and who you want to become tomorrow. The capability that's always been there from the beginning begins to show. And I get fired up about this. You know, this is opportunity for me to really be able to show how excited I get, because once you start focusing on small actions and the performance gap, I speak about that a lot. The gap in your potential, where you are and where you know you want to be, begins to close or lessen. You know, I talk to folks all the time. You don't have to even close the gap completely. The gap can just reduce the gap by 10, 15, 20%. And that can mean actually big time results for a lot of people. So don't go large, go small. I'm Darren, forward.